Chapter 11, The 89th Kitten. Nobody came after 5 o'clock, but only Pirate was left, still clinging to the wire, and of course Nobbles, who was meant to be left anyway. Pirate was very high up on the fence now. He came down gradually as the sun sank and the dusk began to fall. "I'm glad no one took him," said Miss Barry. "I like an independent cat." "Maybe you could let him out sometimes, or walk him in the park now that there are only 21, Sandy corrected herself. But there were only 20. When Sandy let the cats out from upstairs, there were 18. The 89th kitten was missing. "I must have forgotten her," said Sandy, "or else she slipped out the door when I was checking them. Somebody must have taken her, but they could find no record of her in the book. Perhaps someone just took her without saying," said Miss Barry. Sandy went home for dinner feeling rather lost, feeling flat. "Ask your mother if you can come and have dinner with me tomorrow night," Miss Barry called after her. "Well, dear," said her mother, "did enough people come?" "Yes, they've all gone," said Sandy in a depressed voice, "except Pirate. But I must have made a mistake about the 89th kitten. We can't find her anywhere. Was she special?" "She was the last one. She was beautiful, different. White with just a trace of pink, like a sail in the sunset in the Sydney harbor." "Oh, your father called," said her mother. "When we were having lunch with Miss Barry, it must have been." Mrs. Simpson answered him. She said it rang, and he called and said that he'd call back later. "That'll be him now. You answer it. It was for you." She could hear Sandy's high voice talking to her father. "It went fine, really well. We could have found homes for all of them. We kept 20. Yes, we kept your cat, Jeffrey. The TV was great. Great idea, Dad. I'm sure it did the trick. Lots of people said they'd seen it. Yes, the TV men were good. They took lovely shots of the cats in the house. Yes, I'm fine." And although he hadn't asked, she added, "And Mom's fine too. She's well. She's all right." "Goodbye then, Sandra," said her father's voice as it faded back to Sydney, back over the harbor, back to the sunset over the harbor. Did your father sound all right?" said Sydney, but she was smiling as she said it. "Yes, he sounds fine. Well, all right." "Why did you say it in 3 ways?" asked her mother, pausing with her cup of tea raised. "Because I'm never sure which one you both mean," Sandy said to her mother. "About these kittens or cats, perhaps we could have one, even 2. After all, Napoleon's getting to be an old cat now. I like the orangey one, Honey and Shadow." "You don't need to overdo it, Mom," said Sandy. "But I don't know anyway. Maybe it wouldn't be fair to Napoleon, but I'll ask Miss Barry tomorrow." "So Mom says that we can have 1 or even 2. If you really want to, Sandy, I couldn't say no to you, although I couldn't part with Blackberry or Nobbles," said Miss Barry. "You know, it's strange, but I don't feel able to let any more go. Not to anyone else, I mean," she added hastily. "And not even to me," said Sandy. "That's all right. I know how you feel, and I'd rather think of them all happy together." Miss Barry surrounded herself with the remaining cats. They were all inside except Pirate, who wouldn't come in. Creamy Paws sat at her feet. Blackberry was purring loudly on the furry rug. Nobbles was stretching slowly. Strawberry was smiling. And Jeffrey was sharpening his claws. Suds and Foam were thinking about having a fight, and Midnight and Butternut seemed to be waiting for the television to come on. Drink of Water was sitting under the table waiting for scraps to fall, and One Sock, Blue Haze, Panther, Honey, Sadtail, White Whiskers, Lightning, and Tiger were curled up in the most comfortable chairs. Shadow was sitting on the window listening to something, and Miss Barry heard what he heard too. "Do you know," she said unbelievingly, "I think I hear something." They both listened. The cats stopped what they were doing and not doing and listened. And then they came again, a lost and sad, desolate sound. A sound that Miss Barry could never resist. "I think it's a kitten in the pine tree outside," said Miss Barry, wondering if it could all be about to happen again. Sandy crept worriedly to the door, listening to it very slowly. And there on the mat sat a cat, a beautiful white cat with just a tinge of pink or apricot, like sails on a sunset or clouds at dawn. "It is a cat then," said Miss Barry, wondering. at the silence. A special one, said Sandy, bringing her in. The 89th kitten, exclaimed Miss Barry. How sensible. She's just been waiting for everything to get quiet. The 89th kitten jumped down, her fur standing up everywhere, and licked herself all over disdainfully in proud way. Then she walked over to the furry rug, nudged Blackberry and Nobbles off of it. It's 21, said Sandy. What will the council say? But the council never came back to check.